Welcome, everyone. It's Grandma Mo, and appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel for the end of the WNBA season. So, this one was an exciting game. Boy, I just finished watching this one. Very fast paced, lots of scoring, just a lot of three pointers. Not necessarily by everyone, but Kelsey Mitchell was throwing up three pointers like it was going out of style. And then the Sparks, a number of players were hitting their threes. And we get 100-91 score where the Sparks get the win. These have been two of the hottest teams in the WNBA. The Fever were on a 5-game winning streak, and the Sparks were 6-1, I believe. They had just lost, but they were on a winning streak too. So, two of the hottest teams, the Sparks in the last 7 games have been the highest scoring team in the WNBA, even though they have 15 losses. They started out slow, and you could see how you were like, I know myself was just waiting for them to start playing well because they started out really bad. Like, oh my God, this team has way too much talent to be losing all these games. And they're starting to figure it out. And boy, what a display by Cameron Brink as far as blocks go. She blocked, I think it was Sophie Cunningham took a shot, and she was a good 6 feet away from her. And then just leapt up and just mid-air slapped the shot down. My jaw dropped when I saw that. It was just great. Just Cameron Brink defensively for the Sparks. No one's going to want to drive on her because she's going to swat the shot. I mean, let me look and see how many blocks she had. She had 5 blocks, and she only played 15 minutes. And then she had that one against Dantas. Right towards the end of the third quarter, Dantas had driven to the hoop, and Brink she just skied and both hands and just went like a block in volleyball. But Brink had gotten the foul called on her, and then they overturned it, which, I don't know. I mean, Brink was pretty much... she didn't come down with her hands, but if you watch her jump, she doesn't jump straight up and down. She was like this. She was forward and then came. But they overturned it, and she was fairly straight up and down, but her jump kind of, like both players kind of went like this and then into each other. So, well, that one went the Sparks way. So, but they actually the Sparks had built like a 20-point lead. I think it was 22 points. And then Indiana just late in the fourth quarter, Ari McDonald had a great fourth quarter and just closing like a racehorse between her and Kelsey Mitchell. You had 4 players in double figures, but there wasn't much from anybody else. It's like you have Natasha Howard with 17, Aaliyah Boston with 15. Kelsey Mitchell was draining everything. 34 points for her. Ari McDonald had 15, and then you had a bunch of zeros. You had Dantas with 2 points, and then Sophie Cunningham with 8. It's like you needed a little bit to, when you're going against LA and they're scoring 100 points, you need more than that. But basically, looking at the stats here, Indiana just got outshot. LA as a team shot 56%. You're not going to beat a team that shoots that well. I think that other game where Minnesota played Vegas, I think they shot 60. You're not going to beat someone when they shoot that well, unless you're shooting that well too. And then LA shot, as much as Mitchell was hitting for Indiana, Azari Stevens shot 100% from 3. She was 5 for 5. Plum was 3 for 5. And Rakea Jackson was 3 for 5. Julie Van Loo was 1 for 2. Alamon was 1 for 5. But for the most part, as a team, they shot terrifically from 3. So let's go over the quarterly score. So it was dead even in the first, 27-26. Then the Sparks, this is where the Sparks started to get their lead. In the second quarter, they outscored them 28-16. Then it was even again in the third, 22-21. The Sparks were up by one more. And then Indiana closed it 27-24 and made it a little closer than it was, especially down the end. I think the Sparks got most of those 24 points in the beginning because they were up like, the beginning of the fourth, they were up like 20, somewhere near 20 points. And all of a sudden they started to close that gap. So let's see, what do you have here? So you had Howard. Aaliyah Boston had also had 9 rebounds, 4 assists. She had 15 points. Mitchell, 34 points, 6 assists. She scored that many points and still got 6 assists. That's pretty good. She had 2 really nice passes. I think they were to Boston, but just beautiful passes right into Boston. Those were 2 of her assists. Ari McDonald had 6 assists and 5 rebounds also. It was a clean game. Indiana only had 4 turnovers, and LA had 11. Let's see. Plum had 3 of them. Julie Elliman had 2. Cameron Brink had 2. Ray Burrell had 1. Van Loo had 2, and Hamby had 1. So, but that's anything 10 or below, 11's okay. And Indiana got, I guess there were 3 team turnovers. 2 of them were 5-second calls on LA. They couldn't get the ball in bounds. So they actually had a total of 14, whereas Indiana only had 5 total. But Indiana got 15 points off those turnovers. So points in the paint, the Sparks outscored them 48-36. Let's see what else. How were the rebounds? Indiana had 27 rebounds and LA had 32. So that's close enough. But LA is a very tall, fast team. Very tall, fast team. They're hard to match up against. Certain teams just do not match up well against them. And I'm not saying that the Indiana didn't, but when they're hitting, they hit their shots, and you have all that speed and length. Very hard to beat. Kelsey Plum, very nice game from her. She had a double-double. She had 25 points and 11 assists. She had 1 rebound, 3 turnovers. So then Azari Stevens, who was 100% from 3, she was also 7 for 8 from the floor. 19 points for her. She had 2 blocks, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds. Then you had De'Erica Hamby, 16 points. She had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a turnover. And then Rakea Jackson, also 25 points. Very nice game from her. She was 10 for 18 from the floor. Very nice game from her. 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then you had Alamon had 5 points. She had 7 assists and 8 rebounds, though. Very nice game from her. Very solid. Cameron Brink did not score, but she had 5 points. 5 blocks, 2 turnovers, 3 rebounds. She was 0 for 6 from the floor. Well, I didn't even realize that when I was watching it. It didn't even occur to me she didn't score. Ray Burrell had 7 points. She's such a speed demon. She comes in and just drives to the hoop. Sometimes she gets out of control, but, most of the time, just crazy fast. Crazy fast. She had a steal, a turnover, an assist, and 3 rebounds. Julie Van Loo hit a 3-point shot, so she had 3 points. Sarah Ashley Barker got in the game, but she didn't have any stats. So LA wins the game, and now we have LA is 13-15, and Indiana is 17-13. and Seattle lost. So I have to look at the standings. Stuff, you know, around 13, 14, 15 losses, there's a bunch of teams. Let me see what the standings are here. Yeah, so you have Atlanta and Phoenix have 11 losses. Indiana has 13. Seattle lost, so they have 14. Then you have Vegas and the Valkyries also with 14 losses, and they're playing tomorrow. So depending on who wins that game, then one of them will have 15 losses that will be even with the Sparks. So we just, between the 11, there's a bunch of teams vying for like 5 through 8 in the playoffs. That is yet to be determined. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who gets those spots. And nobody wants, 7 or 8. You want to be higher than 7 or 8 because then you're going to play the Liberty or the Lynx. And you especially don't want to play the Lynx. So, anyway, they got a win, a close game. I haven't yet watched that one yet. That'll be next. Against Seattle. And that was a barn burner. Even without Fee, Minnesota still came through. I know they won, but it was a very close game. So we'll get to that one next, and we'll see you next time.